It's time for a segment I am very happy to have inherited tonight from Peter Credlin. It's time for Words Matter with Kel Richards. Kel, I love this segment every week. We've got a lot to get through. Our viewers have sent a whole bunch of questions via your website, ozwords.com.au. Let's kick it off with the reinvention of the word racist. What did you find out in your research about this one?
OK, racist is not recorded before 1903, so it's not all that old. There is a related word, racialist, from the 1880s, but racist from 1903, and it always includes the idea of a claim of racial superiority. It's not just disliking another race or not wanting to be with another race. It is the idea of racial superiority. It grew out of Darwinism. It grew out of the idea of evolution, and that some races were more evolved than others and some races were less evolved than others. So unless there's an element of a claim to racial superiority, it can't properly be called racist. Now, I heard one commentator who claimed, and this is controversial, but he claimed the Uluru Statement from the Heart is racist in that sense, in that it claims that Indigenous Australians are superior to non-Indigenous Australians because they are spiritually superior, because of their spiritual sacred connection to country, which no people of any other race have or can ever have. Now, that's a matter for debate, but it's the idea at the heart of racism is the idea that there is a claim of racial superiority over others, not just not liking them.
That's very interesting stuff. Here's one for you, Kel. I think this segment is the bee's knees. I grew up with that term. My grandmother was telling me all about it. I know what it means, but where did it come from?
It comes from 1920s America, the Jazz Age. The age of the Charleston, in America, the age of Prohibition and speakeasies. It was after the First World War, everyone let their hair down, and it was a libertine era, and it was a very rich era in verbal invention. And they just came up with a whole lot of these expressions, which didn't necessarily mean anything, but they were invented then. Bee's knees is one of them. The ant's pants is another one. The cat's pyjamas is another one. They all come from the 1920s, from the United States. People try to invent a reason for this, bees have got very clever knees that can bend backward. No. None of that happened. That's just rubbish. It was just invented as a fun expression to say it's really good, I really like it, it is the bee's knees. And it survived to the present day because the English language just likes rhyming reduplication. And the rhyming reduplication means we can't forget it. We all go on using it.
That's absolutely right. I still use it with my children, and another generation on it goes. Hey, let's finish on something rather timely. It's almost silly season. What's the background of this phrase, and why is it so silly? Is it we just lose our minds coming into Christmas?
We don't. It is the journalists who lose their minds. Silly season is an expression invented by the journalistic profession because it's a difficult time of the year for journalists. Parliament's closed, politicians go on holidays, the news flow is very low, journalists desperate to fill bulletins and newspapers are looking around for human interest stories, magazine stories, offbeat stories. And because that's their problem that the journalists have to face, they took to labelling it the silly season. I guess because you get a lot of stories that can be a bit silly, that get coverage this time of year, that, at the heat of the political year, they would get no coverage. So it's a journalistic expression.
Every politician knows that secret, Kel Richards.
Yes,
hey, unfortunately,
right.
Kel, I'm out of time. I'm really sorry to let you go. We'll talk another night. I look forward to that.